come on the more, I'll come on Shango. Kindly greasy pole, how we don't dance from the maple.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to We Culture. Yes, we've been off for 2 weeks, and of course, you know, we had an obligation to air or to broadcast the 2022 World Athletic Championships, and I'm sure, you know, we're all happy that we did because we were able to bask in the glory of our athletes. Yes, indeed. Lyndon Victor, Kirani James, Anderson Peters, making us proud again. And I'm sure, you know, I could imagine Doc might saying, "Boy, why if I was still in my days, boy." Yeah. But I'm sure it was a joy indeed, you know, for everyone. So we back, folks, and well, Doc is with me. We haven't seen the others yet, but we're going. Doc, how you doing, man? It's good to be back after 2 weeks, a 2 weeks break.
Yes, it's really good to be back. And I would like to join with you, but also would like to add Lyndon Victor, the athlete.
Yes.
I think although he didn't get the medal, I think he represented Grenada well. And of course, I join with Goddfrey to recognize immense contribution by the athletes that were able to bring gold to Grenada. I mean, and for our size, I think we're ranking high. I don't know the
maybe the highest.
Number one.
Yes, we are 100,000 people basically.
Yeah.
We got 2 medals, one for every 50,000. I mean that's real high.
That's good. Thank you guys and all the effort, the teachers from since in days of school and you know and the coaches for doing a wonderful job. And of course, just want to say hello to all the listeners outside there that is now tuned in. I know hopefully you miss us as we miss you. And tonight we hope to be a bumper show. Although we started with 2, we hope to improve or increase on that number. Well,
of course, you know, and there's a lot happening when the what we might want to call the cultural season. You know, and definitely there's a lot to talk about. So of course we welcome all our viewers on GBN television, of course our listeners on K105 FM, and our viewers on the Facebook page and YouTube channel, and I see quite a number of them already on. So good night folks, and you know, we're happy to be back indeed, and we're gonna have a great time. Well, we know our partner Scholar, I mean, around this time, that's his time. You know, he's organizing his tent. He's getting ready for competition. He's in the groovy. He's in the calypso. I mean, so I can just imagine. So if we see him tonight, I mean, we could understand. But we're hoping that definitely he can join us. Reece should be with us soon, and of course, we will be engaging our listeners tonight as well. So, Doc, you have any flowers to give before we go?
No. You know, unfortunately, I always give flowers to the living, but this time, Goddfrey, my heart really pained me.
Oh, you know? Yes. When I saw until after we spoke, I actually saw the message, and I've been wondering what was going on. I mean, something was wrong over the time, or?
Well, he was sick. We folks, in case you had picked it up, we just want to. There was this guy from Tivoli. I mean, when you talk about a stalwart community person, someone all-encompassing would give, you know, people his last cent, and you know, he's always in every activity. Community activity, he's always there to lend a hand. Somebody building a house, they want to work in the land. He's always going around giving people the you know, they have it or the basket, you know, the provision allotment. some of the older folks, his name is Farmer Brown. We call him Farmer Brown.
Yes.
He passed away.
Yeah, Doc, as you mentioned that we call him Farmer Brown. Maybe me and you probably know, but I am sure that most people in Tivoli don't know his name.
Which is cultural, not unusual. His correct name is Samuel John.
Yes.
Samuel John, but I can tell you, man, Farmer Brown was, I would say, the village love child, the village love man. People adore him. I mean, he was so adept, so attuned with world affairs and what is happening around the place and in the country. I mean, you talk about somebody with a degree that never had a degree.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
That was Brown. That was Farmer Brown.
And the name speaks for himself. As far as I could remember, Farmer Brown has always been. In fact, because of his love for agriculture, I think that's how he got the name, Farmer Brown. I mean, always there. And I was really shocked when you broke it to me this afternoon. That he had passed.
But just a final thing to give those, It was strange, I was called and, because they said he was sick and, he needed transport. And who went? Jay, Roland Budlal,
right.
and Budlal, and Kokunam. So the three big men.
Yes.
Pascal with the bag and went to check in Farmer Brown, you know what I mean? So, and that speaks volume that, the three of us as men went to check in.
No, this is I guess maybe people who not from Tivoli listening to us probably may not be able to totally comprehend, his contribution, but you can take it from us. Farmer Brown was a man with a difference, one like none other. When you're talking about agriculture and a community person, that was the man. When you sit down to talk with Farmer, and don't forget, he loved his politics. Farmer was just that kind of person. So of course we extend our sympathy and condolence to his family, and of course the friends, people of Tivoli, all the guys, as you mentioned, Jay and Laro and all the other guys.
I really was proud of Roland, Jay, Woodlal. When he say, I would sign. I'm the closest to family. I would sign. I would take on all the responsibility.
Right.
And so Jay was very instrumental in, he say I would sign. So again, Jay, I don't know if you're listening. I don't know, but hopefully somebody would tell Jay that,
No, definitely. I mean, and the history, it goes back a long way. So, like I said, people who not from Tivoli probably may not understand, but the history, it goes back a very, very long way, and it's no surprise that Jay would definitely just come forward right away and do what has to be done. So, Jay, enough respect, and of course, the others. So, of course, we would get more information as the weeks roll by. Yeah. So, Doc, we in Carnival. We're in the Carnival season. A lot of things have happening so far. The semi-final events have gone. We're now getting ready for the final events. We have Calypso in Grenville this year, and we had to talk a lot about that. Of course, we have the Groovy and then the Power Soca competition at the National Stadium. Last Wednesday, the Queen Show took place, and congratulations to the young lady who represented St. George. She won. Also, St. Mark was second and St. David third. So congratulations to them. And of course, we definitely wishing the best for all the other competitors who are awaiting their final competition. But Doc, I want to start right away. Well, I like Makaito, so I want to start. That's where I want to start, And I must say, you give me you give me some steam. You give me some steam, you know what I mean? So I ain't wasted time on that. So 2022, it was decided that they would move the Calypso Monarch competition to St. Andrew, of course, with the hope of trying to get some more support because of the love of of the people of St. Andrew and the outer parishes for Calypso, all in an effort to try to help boost the art form. So first, I want to start by asking you your thoughts on the moving of the Calypso competition from the whole Dimanche Granite and moving it as a standalone show, and of course putting it in St. Andrew. Your thoughts on that?
So I would deal with it in segment. I would only address first the movement, not the days.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna take them. We're gonna take them.
So I think it was a brilliant idea to think of moving, because if something is not working, you've been doing the same thing all over. It is not a bad idea to try to, if you could input, do something different to see if you get a different result. Also, as humanity was known, that St. Andrew really is a big base for the support of the Calypso and the art form in that, the Calypso art form general. So semi-finals in Simon was always a bumper show.
Of course.
And because Marshall was losing some of its support, again, when you have it in a big area like the stadium, it even make it look worse because of the number of empty chairs and things. So the idea of moving it to St. Andrew, I believe, was harder. And I am, in harder. So that was, I think, trying to, you have to do something different to get a different result. So that part, I believe it was a good thing.
Right. Right. Yes, and I totally agree, because you need to, when you're having issues with something, when something is not working, you have to try to find ways, come up with creative ways to make things work. And so the movement from St. George's to St. Andrew, I think, was welcomed, and you mentioned it. The kind of support that the semi-final round was getting in St. Andrew was good reason, in my opinion. Also, I would add, I think St. Andrew is a little more central, in terms of the other parishes. So it's easier for someone to come from St. Patrick to St. Yes, rather than having to go all the way to St. George. St. John's is not bad at all. You could just shoot across Belvedere and you come through. People in St. David, they run up the road.
Right there.
So there's some good reasons for the movement, in my opinion. So that I welcome. So your thoughts now on, so you move it from the Sunday, which is original, traditional, and you put it to a Thursday.
Well, let me take a page from Neil Augustine. Neil said, you're doing an experimentation and you're changing two major variables. So how you would know if it fails, what caused it to fail? So when you move it, I believe the most lucrative day carnival calendar year is the Sunday. From the Sunday, if you move it and you move it from the Sunday to the Thursday, then what is left? What will leave in place to fulfill this Sunday? And that is, to me, where I start becoming quite suspicious and uncomfortable. Now, so you move it from St. George to St. Andrew. Granted, that is a good idea. But then you move the day. And your idea of a replacement, your Canboulay, to me, that is the most ridiculous thing. Because, Canboulay is supposed to be a time when long time before Goddfrey, people, when they're preparing for Mass, they will cook this big pot of pig soup. And they get ready for the Mass, for the shopping. And the final elastic, the final face mask, they prepare everything for fellas doing the willow. Fellas getting everything organized while the pot is on fire and you have final tune and everything taken. And Livingston bread, wheresoever you go, some people used to go from camp to camp trying to hustle on some food. So you might have the shotting here, the jam, organizing the next place, while Indian, Silama, Donkey, whatsoever, whichever village that organizes the steel pan and then everybody getting organized on that night. Sure. But this has not been a practice. Really for the last maybe. So how can you impose a cultural practice that is not in tune with modern time to replace something that people used to be looking forward to? And not only that, Kangole is not a central located event. It is expected to be through all the various villages. And people don't register for Kangole. People, you just cook a pot of peas soup, which is tradition. But if the tradition is dying, you can't just impose it. So first when I heard that, I said, well, I really wonder if I was hearing correctly. And then somebody asked on Facebook, what is really taking place on Sunday? What would be happening on Sunday? And I think that was a legitimate question in the mind of what I would call cultural observers or cultural practitioners. What is really taking place on Sunday? It still eludes me that, it's hard for me not to imagine that there was some conspiracy from the beginning. It is difficult. I'm not going to stay here and say that there was. But it is difficult for me. You're taking out something that a good number of persons, even if they didn't used to come to the marriage ground, they would say, "Oh man, look at the television." And so, you took it out from the Sunday and you bring it on the Thursday. But on the Thursday is between two kind of upbeat events.
Right.
And that was already an event that was kind of dying. You bring it in between. I don't know, that one eludes me.
So okay, so let me try and be devil's advocate here. Let me interfere with you. Let me interfere with you. Now, one of the arguments was that Carnival Sunday, already the march was dying. Of course, when I say the march, I mean the show, that event. I did not, folks. I did not say Calypso, because I would never agree with anyone who says Calypso is dying. That is just, as far as I'm concerned, that is a joke. So the march gras. So let's break it down. So there's the argument that one. With the birth of the Soca Monarch on the Friday, most people, they go to Soca Monarch. Then following that, there used to be this big show in Moonlight City and wherever it used to be, and so it was felt that the Sunday, people tired, they home and they have no energy, so the little time they have, they stay home and rest for Juve morning, and so people ain't going the march gras, and so they felt the Sunday was not appropriate. Now, and I'm just saying some of the arguments I have heard. All right, I've heard. So right, okay. I'm getting a feedback, and folks, we've been joined by the Queen. And she looks very regal this evening. Doc, I think we should welcome her before I finish.
You do that.
Mama, how you do?
I'm wondering, why is it that as soon as I tune in, there is feedback?
Well,
this is a conspiracy.
Well, I mean, by the way you look regal, I mean, and I'm trying to mind your business, watching to see where you're there. Where you there?
Well, that was a fine. I find it really strange.
Where you there?
Are they where they?
You there?
Doc be there.
That's real.
And Doc still there. He's still there.
I see. And I'm glad because I think that was one of the individuals who had argued for against the Sunday thing. So we go here. So anyway, folks, Reece has joined us. We're happy. We see the 9-time Calypso Monarch has just signed in, and hopefully he should be on our screen, shortly. So, Reece, we basically talking about some we start with the movement of the Calypso Monarch competition. One moving to Grenville, with the intent of helping it, and now we've gotten to the point of moving it from the Sunday to the Thursday. And so let's welcome the 9-time Calypso Monarch, Mr. Goddfrey. Good night.
We don't know about 9-time Calypso Monarch now. All I know is the 6 for 9 man.
Yeah, all I know.
But the 9 for 6.
All I know, the 9 go stay right there. I know that 9 don't moving. That 9 don't moving at all. He stay right.
You don't know that?
I don't know that.
You don't know that? Hey.
Listen, let me tell you, the 9 might move, but maybe closer to home, but not that 9 don't moving.
I don't know. Wait, watch me. All the Obia, you don't have no goat mode, so don't try that.
Hey, what do you just joking? But you don't about Obia just getting dark with me. I just pulling in Doc. I let Doc do a thing with me, and we good to go.
Drum roll.
You like Doc like go some shishu?
What you mean, Doc? When Doc like go some shishu?
Now let Doc call our Vinci.
Yeah, and let me tell you, and again the Vinci a booster. I give him a booster. Let him use his voice, and then you will see that 9 don't moving. No way.
Godfrey, if you're doing all that, then I say you're telling me you're going to be what was Mark Kelly singing?
I don't know. No, it's not Kelly ever a new tune.
But all what you're going to see is all what I write you.
Yeah?
You're really fool, you're going to see all what
I'll get forgiveness.
Exactly.
I'll get forgiveness.
Them song you're going to see there to sing.
Yeah.
But from them fellas and them, this man them can't even write A on a paper.
They don't have to write A?
Well, that's what I'm telling you. Me, I don't write it too.
It don't matter.
That's a challenge you're talking
So you're still giving the Vinci meal.
That's what I tell you. The 9 might go closer to home, but the 9 it's
well, it could be. And for the first time, I believe in the March, a man have a chance to come first, second, and third. It never happened before.
I get your king.
Doc, you hear, man, brag?
Anyhow you take it, it's a win. Anyhow you take it.
You don't understand.
You don't understand that.
Anyway, let me get back to the Get back to the topic.
So we were talking about, of course, the movement and so on. I was saying to Doc, there's the argument regarding the Sunday, where people tired, from Soca Monarch Friday, then those big college shows and them on Saturday, and then Sunday people tired, they bond, they stay home, they get ready for Juve, and so there's the argument that maybe that was one of the reasons that propelled the Thursday thing. So
we are going to test to see if, based on people not being tired on Wednesday, right? Mm-hmm. That we would see the same or an increase in patronage of the Calypso finals. That's what you're purporting, right? With the move.
Well, no, mind you, I said earlier that was some of the arguments I have heard.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily, my thing to say.
I want to put out there that it's quite possible that just like how we've witnessed the kind of show at the Queen show, the feat that came out. And mind you, I'm not for, I don't subscribe to, this is the first time we've had a sold out Queen show there, because I have been to Spice Basket for Queen show, and I think it was 2018 or 19. And and I couldn't find seats same way. My whole family, we were there, and we had to stand up in the hallway like the Mother's Day show, and there were people outside. So maybe this is a time that we really paid attention to notice that the venue is too small for the current Queen show, right? But I want to put out there that it's highly possible that we might see more feet at the Calypso finals, because the quality of music and the compositions and all of that is just that compelling. In my mind, it is far more compelling, a more compelling show right now than even the Soca Monarch or the Groovy Monarch.
I totally agree.
Let us hope that with the absence of fatigue and the content that we are getting at the event, that we would really see more feet coming out. But I have one thing that I want to say. I went to the semifinals on Sunday, and I think we have kind of gotten used to chairs being laid out and stuff for the usual people who come out to such things, and that wasn't there. And if we might be expecting a larger crowd at that venue, meaning more middle-aged people are going to come out, people who don't normally go to Soca Monarch and all of that. How are we thinking about catering for them? Because there's the bleachers, the wooden bleachers, but a lot of these people like to be in front. And we've gotten used to that. When you go to the Sunday show, whether it's semifinals or finals, you see like a number of chairs that you could access and that kind of thing. Maybe we would get back to the days of Queen's Park, when the March Gras was the biggest thing, and you're seeing man jam up against stage and in pavilion and thing, because that's a show, that's the ultimate show. Maybe we could get back to that. So the chairs might be a hindrance, but I'd really like to see how we handle this one.
So Kingman, we want to hear your views.
On the Calypso finals?
Yes, the movement from St. George's to St. Andrew, and then the other movement from the Sunday to the Thursday, and what you think might be the possible outcome. Are we going to get the results that we're hoping for in terms of support?
Well,
before you go, I just want to correct something. There's King and there's Kingman. Get your facts straight. Thank you.
Yeah.
You see,
there's King and there's Kingman. You might be confusing people right now.
You can't put lipstick in people's TV.
I don't want to run with Reece.
And I find that lollipop she rubbing she put it.
Goddfrey, hear my voice. Goddfrey, hear my voice. Reece.
Yeah.
You can't put lipstick on people's TV. Goddfrey, now here is what. Now, I was always in support of moving the Calypso finals to the Thursday in Grenville. Right? Now, and here is my whole backdrop to all of it. Now, first of all, and I think I listened to Doc before I came in. Doc said he had to be a conspiracy, and he put in Neil and all kind of stuff. No, here is what. There is not a single person that can doubt that the March Gras has been failing year in year. I take part in it. So I know for the last 15, 16 or how much years, the March Gras has really phased out into very little. Me for myself and the artists, we love the March Gras crowd because our artist feeds from that, right? And you go in the big stadium and you see a person here, then you watch Quiet in Mars, you see an next person and so on. It makes you feel empty. Last year, Beast came back for, after how much years? He said 8 years or how much. And when Beast finished the first round, and me and him go back to the stage, Beast at the course, he tell me he don't feel to go back on the stage because two little people and they far. He never was accustomed to this. But we've seen this over the years. All right. So there is not a question as to the fact that the finals on Sunday in the stadium was not working. So it has to be now, why is it not working? Right? Why is it not working? Now, in 2019, 2018, we had proposed to the SMC that we move the Mardi Gras to the Sunday in Grenville. All right? Mm-hmm. Now, the thinking was that Grenville has the real catchment area for Calypso. All right? But if we are honest with ourselves, and I heard Neil talking all kind of thing about variables, whatnot. Two variables, fine. So there are two variables indeed. So this is one thing you can agree with. Because the truth is that with the when I started singing in the Mardi Gras even in 1993, the Mardi Gras was filled. I started in front full crowds. The Mardi Gras started to get to dwindle as the Stoker Monarch rules. Right? And on top of that, when you came, as you saying, with the white show and so on, then we saw the absolute death of the Mardi Gras. Jamu at one time, he didn't used to take part, he come back, he say he come to save the Calypso for people to come in the Mardi Gras. And when I saw myself, Jamu, Beast at one time in the same Mardi Gras, and you still had 6 other people, I say, nah. It doesn't have to be personal, and people have argued over the years. Stupidness, they say me and B singing too much of politics, so there are people who come in the Mardi Gras. All what they say, it has never ever worked, and it has always petered out into just assertions, really. All right? But one thing we can say is the white and the Soca Monarch, total. No. There is empirical evidence that this is so, because the Mardi Gras has not just suffered in Grenada. It has suffered throughout the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. Trinidad, when you look at the Mardi Gras now, you're ashamed. Same thing as Grenada, one person here, one person there in the Savannah. As a matter of fact, Trinidad have tied with the Mardi Gras. They put it on Friday, they try it on the same Thursday we trying it on.
They go with one song.
They do one song, they do all kind of things. So they have understood that the Mardi Gras is failing and they had to do something. All right? So they understood it. It was no conspiracy thing. They understood that. Now, the only place in the Caribbean that the Mardi Gras has gone from lips and bones with people and it has never ever dwindled is one place, Dominica. And the only thing that Dominica doesn't have that everybody else has, St. Lucia and Antigua, all about where Calypso, the Mardi Gras failing. The only thing Dominica don't have is a Soca Monarch and it's white show and all this kind of thing. Dominica doesn't have that. Dominica has one show, which is the Calypso. So empirically, this is this is really the acid test. That's the litmus test. We sing it right there. That the white and the Soca Monarch have affected, because Goddfrey, as you say, people go to Soca Monarch the Friday. The Saturday they go and beat up themselves. Now the last little juice that they have in their body, they live in it for the juve. And remember, the Mardi Gras is a laid back, most sit down kind of thing. Then coming. And then on top of that, you have it showing on TV. So why come? So they stay home or they stay away, or some people sleep in and they don't come to the Calypso. So I was always, nobody saying that is foolproof thing, but there are two variables, and Neil is correct. There is one with the venue, and there is one with the day. He is for try one variable, and if you don't work, then you try the two variable. Fine. So why doesn't he say, all right, let's try the variable of leaving it on in town the Thursday? Because that's a variable as well. But he doesn't want that. So it's one variable he's thinking about. The variable is bring it in Grenville the Sunday. All right? So what they have done, and what the conceptualization to me was that you take the two variables into account and you factor for them. Put it in Grenville where you have the catchment, put it on the Thursday where you start with with Calypso, you start slow, and then Friday when bang bang, all hell break loose, and we go from there. So that was the thinking. But there was always the understanding in all that. One, that there would be a match. There was always the understanding. If there was no understanding like that, I can't agree to that. So there was always an understanding that there would be a Majga, but the Majga would not be, the Calypso finals would not be in the Majga. Because some people, you hear them say, we can't take the Calypso finals from Sunday. They're doing just as though the Calypso finals is an Adventist Sabbath. You know the Adventist Sabbath, you can't take it from a Saturday. You put it on any day. It's not the Advent. The Calypso finals is not the Adventist Sabbath. And just as Trinidad, you could tweak with it, but keeping it in one place all the time was tantamount to stupidity and madness. You have to try something. Now, granted, it may not work. It may not work. But you knew for a fact that the Sunday is not working. And I could stop here. But one of the things that was proffered, and I hear when Livingston say about the conspiracy, because one of the things that was proffered, right, was that the Calypso finals has been placed on the Thursday in Grenville so that the government would try their best to not allow political songs to surface so people wouldn't go in the match.
Well, Skulls, you know what? I want to stop you there because I have two other, what you might call sub-variables. Maybe they're not as big as the two mentioned. And I want to come to them, but let's just take the break. And then when we come back, we would look at them. So stay with us, folks. We'll be back in just a moment.
Have you heard about the new Soft Weave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Soft Weave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue. Available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Soft Weave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information. WeatherGuard Pro. For every project, there's only one Pro.
The return of the SMC's Children Carnival Frolic will be epic. It will be fun, colors, and young talent on display. It's the Spice Mash Children's Carnival Frolic 2022, Saturday 30th July at the National Stadium. Come, witness the array of colors in the parade of the bands and the kid rivalry as the young guns take the stage in the Junior Calypso and Still Band competition. Bouncy Castle, Rise, and face painting for the kids, plus many more fun-filled activities in the Children's Fun Village. Admission, adults $25, children only 15. Starting time 11 a.m. It will be fun. So bring out the kids. It's the Children's Carnival Frolic, Saturday 30th July. Spice Mass 2022 is going to be steamy.
For the first time in years, a Calypso tent crowns its own monarch. Kaiso is back. This Tuesday, August 2nd, the Hubbard's Kaiso Bands competes amongst themselves to crown their own tent monarch. 14 Calypsonians vying for the crown. Can Young Song run away with the title? Or can Peckles or Top Cat stop him? Be at the Deluxe Cinema in Grenville this Tuesday to witness yourself. Admission only $25. Hubbard's Kaiso Bands crowns its own monarch this Tuesday. Kaiso is back and is that. Powered by Hubbard's and the SMC.
message from the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority.
For all those who missed it the first time, Julian Fedon is back.
Tonight we stand our ground. Tonight we stand on the side of history.
Julian Fedon, a heritage theatre production written and directed by Chris DeRiggs. Experience the conflict, the romance, the lighter moments, the drama. 3 big performances, Friday 12th, Saturday 13th, and Sunday 14th August at the Grenada Trade Center, 7 p.m. each night. Bring out the entire family and enjoy this very special experience in Grenadian theatre.
When you need your prescription filled or you require non-prescribed medication, supplements, or all your personal needs, visit Gittins Healthcare at locations on Wall Street, Grand Anse, Victoria Street, Grenville, and Central Deputy Street, Wharf. Gittins Healthcare aims to provide an exceptional personalized pharmacy experience. Additionally, children under 5 and adults 55 years and over will enjoy 10% discount on purchases of $20 and over on prescription medication. Stop settling for less. Visit Gittins Healthcare, where your health is our priority.
Hubbard's is giving away loads of prizes with Live Free for 1 year 3.0. Same promotion, more prizes to be won. Spend $50 or more at any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big every 2 weeks. Win! Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Cash savings account from the Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited. Free electricity for 1 year. Free Coca-Cola for 1 year. Free property insurance for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Free lunch packages from the Creative Chef. 1 free gas cooker. Free internet and cable for 1 year. And free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 28 to September 16, 2022. Live Free for 1 year 3.0 is brought to you in part by Chief Brand Products, Grenadian General Insurance Company Limited, Harry Breweries, Danny, Flow, Creative Chef, Grenlex, Supreme Bleach, Promos, Sol, Dutch Lady, Coca-Cola Grenada Bottling Company, Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited, and the Food Fair Supermarket. Terms and conditions apply.
Raise it high up the ladder. Let we set it on fire. A little more calypso. Forget the funk and the disco. A little more limbo. A little more.
Welcome back, everyone. It's We Culture. We talking Kaiso, and more Kaiso. Don't forget, folks, Tuesday. Yeah. Big things happening. You saw the ad on television. Hubbard's Kaiso Bads Krong in the Monarch 14 Kaiso. Imagine Bads have more finalists in the Kaiso Monarch than the March Grand, you know. Well, than Calypso King, so you know what's going on there. Anyway, folks, I'm going to I almost make a joke and say a George, you know, but anyway, guys, we back. Now Skulls, very, very interesting. But as I said, I want to throw out what I want to call 2 sub-variables. And I would like to get people's opinion. I don't know. One, there's some people, little sectors who have complained, and you mentioned it earlier, about the political calypsos. I am wondering if maybe somewhere in there that could have been a deterrent, and we know the political system go in Grenada. And then secondly, the adjudication of the Calypso competition. And Scholar, I'm coming back to you because you deep in the thing before I go to Doc. What say you?
According to that, that is like a sub-variable.
Well, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
People have said that from a long time, and then you had, well, as a matter of fact, remember Jamu says me I was mashing up Calypso because I was singing this kind of thing, and then he came back to save Calypso, and lo and behold, Calypso couldn't be saved, right? And the truth is that if we were to point at that sub-variable as being the fact, then how do you explain the diminished march in all other countries? You see, and that's the problem, because I know, for instance, in St. Lucia and them place and them.
But stick a pin. But the sub-variable still apply.
Sub-variable applies, but the sub-variable, not the political commentary policy. This came in rough with me and this. But the sub-variable of George's decision has always been there. I mean, since in the days of Jamu and them, and we said and them. Remember, we said he go and crown himself at time.
Yeah, but he boss that year.
Not that year, the boss.
That year. No. When the carnival over?
No, it was not that time.
All right, okay.
The time we said crown himself was 1989 on Spec U1.
Oh, yes, you're right, yeah.
So it has always been like that. So I humbly submit that this might have some bearing, probably, but I don't think so.
Minimal.
Minimal. Mm-hmm. And the truth is that Calypso would have done that swing also with the coming to being of the soca monarchy. Because remember, Calypso then at the Calypso competition was a slow run and then a kick up run. And then you go with that kick up run straight into Juve. But Calypso became, now there was no need for a kick up run, because who you kicking up and competing against? You can't kick up and compete against soca. So Calypsonians had to mellow down, and that was how you started having two serious songs and so on, because the soca came and with that it took away the fast song. You see? So there are a lot of dynamics involved.
Right. So Doc here, let's bring it Doc here.
Let me come in here. I think if you look at the Calypso this year, a lot of them are basically upbeat. So a low scholar mentioned about, they had to mellow down a little bit. I reckon this year, to me, there's a lot more upbeat Calypso, and the upbeat Calypsos are being received well by the audience. But I also want to look at something. Several times you go to the tent and you hear some really good Calypsos that are very receptive. But for some other, if you look at the judging criteria, you recognize that the judging criteria is almost the same thing for Calypso as it is for maybe, I don't even want to give no company no prop, but any of the musical competition. So in my mind, somebody go and study music, somebody come from studying music, and that is the criteria for judging Calypso as it is for judging almost any other musical art form. And you lose the cultural component of Calypso, right? Emphasis are placed on what I'll call maybe the clinical aspect of music rather than the cultural aspect of music. So in the tent, you lose a lot of the good Calypso because they do not add up or match up to what I call the criteria. So I'm not really blaming the judges, but I think we have to look closely at it. A lot of the humor and Calypso, you get on stage. A lot of Calypsos that really deal with, I don't know, I don't even know how to express it. But some of them you hear in the tent, they just cannot make it. I personally don't accept the argument that somebody is in a preliminary or in a semi-final and they make a little glitch, and because of that they cannot enter the final just because of that. You don't even look at it in terms of the ability of the artist to rebound or how he treats his topic to give you that. That name is basically pushed under. So a lot of good Calypsos get, stay in the tent. So I believe we have to look at that and see what can happen. Now, there's this guy that I don't know if I'm from the Willis area, scholar might probably know who I'm talking about. And every year, this guy used to be singing some humorous Calypsos. And you recognize that he just was never able to make it because he was never qualified to go on the big stage. And so in the finals on the March Gras, you get Calypsonians that are clinical, clean, wittiness is lost. But they are clean, they can, they perform. So what the question that some of them ask, what would prevent somebody from singing a Western and country song? or hip hop from actually competing in a calypso competition when you look at the criteria? So maybe both young Goddfrey and Scott, I think, who are more adept, might be able to give you some insight to that. What would prevent somebody from singing a country and western song from competing and maybe qualifying or actually winning a calypso competition? So
I could tell you that. I could tell you that the judges will prevent him and the crowd will prevent him.
Mm-hmm.
If you're thinking about crowd and you look at the crowd, the response in the crowd sometimes from the tent and the people that really do well in the tent, some of them they are not placed on the semi-finalists.
So who come in and sing our country and western? People who chasing our person?
Because it's in the name of the competition. It's a genre, and country and western is not calypso. It's not high so. It's not.
Yeah, but that you're not correct. In saying that it is the criteria. It's not the criteria. It's the judges that don't know what they're doing with the criteria that has been problem. It's not the criteria. The criteria, because how do you say that when Beast always singing humorous song and then the final? When Beast win crown singing folk king and this kind of thing and them.
And winning crown with it.
But no, but you're looking at one person, and I understand that.
Exactly, but I'm not just looking at one person, I'm looking at song. You say that, but immediately, so you see, you cannot come and justify or blame criteria when you're supposed to blame at who has the criteria in front of them doing anything with it, right? Because let me tell you, for years and donkey years, and even now, people believe that calypso is a thing where you have to sing, and if a man has a nice, sweet voice and thing, immediately he didn't ding you.
Yeah.
For years, and as a matter of fact, people used to say that is melody, melody. I know melody.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, there's no way in any calypso judging criteria that you will see anything that says singing. Singing is just not a part of it. What is a part of it is rendering, not singing. Now there are some very good singers like Jamu and so on, but they ain't getting crown and thing because of their ability to sing, but their ability to render the calypso, which is different from singing. Different from singing. So you can't tell me say Indian and them could come and I know calypso has its own rendition where you sing from inside your belly. That's what rendition is. So man would come in and they tell you man could sing and this kind of thing. Sing what? Otherwise, if it was so, Crow and Black Stallion and Chuck Bros ain't winning no crown.
Guys, it's not a singing competition.
Singing thing, I have ability. Beast will not win no crown, right? So
facts.
Up to now you hear this thing. Up to now you hear this. A man come and he voice nice and anything, and people start ooh and whatnot. It's not a singing competition. So when judges do that. They just don't judge him good. That is all they're doing.
In other words, listen. Let me say the thing how it is now, man. They're thief. But in any event, let's I know Reece, we have some Facebook comment. We don't want to forget our Facebook fans because let's see what we have there on Facebook. And then I will take someone on WhatsApp.
Before I go there, I just want to let you know that sometimes with the singing voices in calypso, we just zone out, because what we really want is content, and when we get kind of confused a bit with the singing voice, we don't pay attention to the content anymore. We just pay attention to how well the person could sing.
In other words, Reece, put it in Grenadian thing. What we want is lyrics.
Lyrics. That's right.
And not just lyrics, because guys have his own language.
But of course, you have to Lego. So let's take some comments, yes.
Right. So I want to go to where we have some contributions. We have Jose is asking, didn't the Calypso artists vote for something like changing Sunday for Thursday? I think the Calypso artists should boycott Thursday until Ali Gale, and he keeps saying Ali Gale, change back to Sunday, because without Calypso or Soca, there will be no carnival. He's also saying for Scholar, fill out the blank if Sita Hall don't like pom-pom. Know what Ali Gale don't like. P.S. Make a song about Ali Gale. He deserves one. Jagan is saying St. Andrew's people stopping culture more than meaning out of parish the day. I don't understand that comment, so I'm going to bypass it. We have Ronnie saying the March Girl will always be the best show for me. Jose again, wherever you heard on a Sunday, where you ever heard on a Sunday night before Carnival, know the March Girl. That goes into Juve, but put a white dance Sunday that have nothing to do with Spice Mass Carnival events. Rose Childs is saying Scholar with some question marks. I guess she's probably surprised by your opinion. Helen Hunt is saying they too thief. They never pick Pecos Lewis, and his music is better than a lot of the finalists. We have Marcia Glenn saying, I can understand how one man can just change years of tradition. Then we have Jose saying, I think the week leading to Carnival should be all Spice Mass events and not private events, as the stadium or license be given during the week of Carnival for any event. You don't think that should happen? Val is saying, what's the start time for Juve? The last few years it was starting too late, so there was a long wait because the end of the March Gras and the start of Juve. You know, Val, where you from and where you not go and play Juve, y'all are start time day. Where Scholar and I and Livingston from, you don't have start time day. We don't start since when? Reginald is saying, I'm going to keep saying Ali Gale needs to go since he took over Grenada Carnival, gone down the drain. We have Triceria saying this Moonlight isn't and should be associated with Spice Mass. It is rather disgusting the way they changed up the dates. They make so much money in that Moonlight party. Spice Mass committee should have all the licenses around the Carnival time. Jose is saying, I think what needed to do was to enhance the product, as St. Vincent did the March Gras Panorama and Parade of the Band the Sunday night on the same night in the stadium, and it was well attended by many. Why couldn't we take a page from SVG? Reginald is saying, Ali Gale only in Spice Mass Corporation for the money. He don't love Calypso and Calypsonian. Mary saying, I think an important factor which is being ignored is the substandard level of the Calypsos over the years. Lack of creativity, lack of originality, and poor melodic structure, among others.
That's not true.
That's not true at all.
That's not true. I don't see no here because our Calypso and our standard and our melodic structure and our writing are surpassed Trinidad for the last
years. Yes, I agree with that. And you
yes. Yes, and even in the Soca as well. Yes.
Even in the Soca.
Oh.
Yes. Right, so she said, unless those are addressed, attendance will not improve. Also, inexplicable judges' decisions. Marcia is saying, as soon as Carnival season over, they better just resign. Triceria is saying, Mr. Gill shouldn't be trusted. Mary Charles is saying, not having a March Gras on Carnival Sunday is inexplicable. Glenna is saying, bring back August Tuesday holiday and put the March Gras on that Tuesday. We may get a bigger crowd attending. Okay then. Triceria is saying, Carnival losing its meaning, we're losing our culture. Jose is saying, isn't the promoter of that white show was also a candidate in the last election? Val is saying, this white show has been on for many years, not sure if the promoter changed. Erlin is saying, in Trinidad, too, they say Crow does sing against UNC, so it's not in Grenada alone. Jose is saying, and wasn't that decision to move Sunday night made during days leading up to the election? I think Scholar and others should boycott Sunday night. Triceria is saying, the Groovy Monarch, Soca Monarch, and the Moonlight in the City killed the March Gras. Val is saying, and to go to work the Wednesday will then become an issue. Val is saying, Sunday, in my opinion, is the best day if only you can get people to come out. Tricia is saying they need to put the March Gras with either the Groovy or the Soca Monarch. Okay. We have Denson saying the March Gras is Carnival Eve, not a show. It is a fixed tradition. Jose is saying, you're taking all the talk. Okay, we're taking all the talk tonight. Val is saying, there are too many shows now where as it used to be one show. You have groovy, power, soca, and calypso. And between that, a white show, a specky show, a tapri show, a wagiti show, and the list goes on and on. She's correct. Dennison is saying calypso is a component of the Mardi Gras. He's saying the Mardi Gras is an institution, Kaiso a component. And original is saying bring back carnival in the heart of St. George's. So that's what I've seen here on the...
Okay, so let me just take a few of the WhatsApp comments. So someone says, good night, Doc and host. My heart goes out to Farmer Brown's family. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you. Goddfrey, I went by Susan today for my con. She looking well. Hope she here tonight. I don't mind wherever it go. But why so much changes in Carnival? Reece, you looking real happy. What can done? Someone says Alien Gill need to do the right thing.
Ali got a lot of name tonight.
Alien Gill do the right thing. We need back Sunday night, and of course not Thursday. Boycott it. Gill is true. It gone through. Don't trust Ali Gill. No mass. All right. Someone says, good night. Just to take Scholar's point a bit further, could it be that Soca Monarch killed the Mardi Gras? Many persons came to the Mardi Gras for the jump up in the second round. Now that there is Soca Monarch and the Calypsonians choose not to do a jump up song, these fans have gravitated to other events where they can still get the jump up. And this is not unique to Grenada. Everywhere there is Soca Monarch, the Mardi Gras has died. Right. Someone says content Reece. Right, yeah. Goddfrey tell Doc that the comedian from the Spice Basket tent dead long. We only have Jai Angel now. Can see Jai Angel making the cut. LOL. Content Reece, content. So true. Alright, then we have someone saying, good night, Goddfrey. I want to know if Scholar still celebrating his party victory, he and Reece, because I don't find us seeing them. Well, they're here now, so maybe they ease up on the celebration. Well, I never see Reece dress up, so I want to know what portfolio Reece hold. Reece, so I'll go tell people.
It's emancipation.
Right. Then someone says, the 9 already in a position. Looking forward to Tuesday in the Look Cinema. Right. Yeah. So I think So that's it for the Right, one other, they said too many shows before Carnival has killed it. So that's it for the WhatsApp comments. Right. So, folks, our telephone line is open. The number is 435-204, and we'd like to hear from you. So,
we're going to take the final break.
Yeah, so we should probably take the break now. Yes, you're right. And then we're going to come back, take some calls, and then continue the discussion. So stay with us, folks. We'll be back in just a moment.
A little more calypso, forget the funk and the disco.
Ladies and gentlemen, the final of the Groovy Soca and Power Soca Monarch is here. Friday, August 5th at the National Stadium. Battling it out for the Groovy Monarch will be Papa Jerry, EC, Royalty, Lil Jello, Scholar and Pappy Boy, Crave, Brother B, Abby Moraine, Looney Spark and Electrify, Mr. Walkie, and Hits. And attempting to take the Power Soca Monarch crown will be Terror the Governor, Jab King, Lil Jello, Pinky Fabulous, Leadneck, Mellow, Stunner, Super Flying Flint, Looney Spark and Electrify, Mr. Walkie, and Hits. Admission $100. More on the day, or experience it front stage in our premium all-inclusive VIP for $500. Plus, there will also be special guest appearances on the night. The quest is on to crown the groovy and power soca monarch for 2022. Who will it be? Friday, August 5th from 8 p.m. National Stadium. The battle is on. Powered by the National Lottery Authority, Flow, and Carib Brewery.
After 2 years of no mass, no bacchanal, and no vibe, are you ready to be thrilled again? Well, get ready for Amazing Colors Monday Night Mass. And this year will be the most amazing return ever. Amazing Colors presents Trilogy. Wanna play Monday Night Mass? Then it's easy. Call 415-6174. It's Amazing Colors Trilogy. Unlimited drinks all night. It's Amazing Colors Trilogy. Monday Night Mass. It will be amazing.
Hubbard's is giving away loads of prizes with Live Free for 1 year 3.0. Same promotion, more prizes to be won. Spend $50 or more at any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big every 2 weeks. Win! Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Cash savings account from the Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited. Free electricity for 1 year. Free Coca-Cola for 1 year. Free property insurance for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Free lunch packages from the Creative Chef. 1 free gas cooker. Free internet and cable for 1 year. And free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 28 to September 16, 2022. Live Free for 1 year 3.0 is brought to you in part by Chief Brand Products, Grenadian General Insurance Company Limited, Carib Breweries, Danny, Flow, Creative Chef, Grenlex, Supreme Bleach, Promos, Sol, Dutch Lady, Coca-Cola Grenada Bottling Company, Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited, and the Food Fair Supermarket. Terms and conditions apply.
If there was ever a time to keep and stay healthy, it's now. We at Hills and Valley are here to help you take deliberate steps to maintain your health. We stayed true to maintaining the most comprehensive rates while stocking the widest range of medicines and health devices, including personal protective equipment. There are so many benefits shopping with us. You get great savings through discounts for senior citizens and reward cards for loyal customers. Ask about owning yours today. Visit us at Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George, Jubilee Street opposite the Grenville Bus Terminal, and at Hillsborough, Carriacou. Our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street also stocks the widest range of pharmaceuticals. We are with you on the hills and in the valleys. We are Hills and Valley Pharmacy.
Raise it high up the ladder. Let we set it on fire. A little more calypso. Forget the funk.
Well, yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. We're talking Kaiso and by extension Carnival. Also, guys, as we have Emancipation Day coming up. Monday, right? Monday,
yes. The 1st of August every year.
Fellas, I have a nice, let me tell you, hold on, I have a nice dakishi that came straight from all the way from Liberia. So I tell you all you, I authentic.
I hope you don't bring nothing in the country with that.
Liberia, you say?
Yeah, Liberia.
I hope it's just a dashiki.
The capital Liberia free food, the people that was shipped back, basically, most of them go in Liberia. The authentic one is from Ghana, Nigeria.
I tell you, I have a dashiki that come out in Liberia. You tell me about Ghana and this kind of thing.
Livingston.
Okay, I just leave that. I just
Livingston. You know here where the dashiki come out in? Lie.
Scholar, don't worry. I know I lie. I hope you don't say when Phil and the tail does it. I hope you don't say the judge lied to you. I wait in here. Anyway,
You remember you call me and tell me who tearing Phil and the tail the Soca Monarch semi-final?
Soca Monarch? Yeah, so, but you know, but the judge is thief.
The judge is thief.
But they always thief, but you know that.
That man you say I tearing tail from last year.
By the thief. Anyway, let's go to the telephone. We have a call on the line. Oui Culture, good evening.
Good evening. there are no 1, 2, or 3 factors that cause the demise of the Mardi Gras. And please don't call Thursday night the Mardi Gras. The word
That's
the Mardi Gras means Thursday night cannot be the Mardi Gras. Because the Mardi Gras is Big Sunday. And Thursday night has nothing to do with Sunday. Right. But one of the things, we of the 1980s and 90s that peopled the Mardi Gras show are now a little older. We are generally between the ages of 55, 65. A different era of people have started going to shows. These young people never knew that sort of thing, and they don't like our kind of quote-unquote slower version of the tune. That is a factor. Of course, we can't leave out Soca Monarch and the Bang 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 shows, white, blue, whatever the color is, being a factor too. On top of all that, there was something called tent. Do we remember that word? Tents. I knew every calypso, or all the major calypsos, at the very least 20 calypso shows word for word before I entered the Queen's Park. And I say in Queen's Park Pavilion, that what we had then, right? So in tents, I went to all tents. We went to all the tents all over. When Moss started in the Lux, we leave St. George and went up there. When they came down, we went there too. When Black Roots and them come, I went everywhere, me and my friends. So we knew the calypso. Radio, there was no competition for calypsos and radio because there was not that whole lot of soca. So we heard all the calypsos and radio, and we went to the Queen's Park knowing the tunes, knowing we think song good, etc., etc. Now, how much calypso do I know? And I have more time to listen to them now because I don't work, I'm home. And I do not hear calypsos, and don't tell me they don't. It's not because I don't listen. I listen to radio. I'm not a big television fan. I listen to radio. I don't hear calypso. The tents have disappeared. The calypsos have disappeared with the tent. The only tent I hear anything about really is calypso bad. I think I heard something with some western whatever. Can't remember it for saying it that much. So all these things are factors leading up to that. So how do we remedy it? I do not know that putting it on Thursday and out of St. George or wherever, because on Sunday night when we had the 10 or 12 people there, I'm fairly certain they came from St. George's too. I doubt they will be going up to Grenville. I don't know that Thursday will make a big thing. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. Believe me, I'd love to see Calypso come back. I can't say the Mardi Gras because that's not what we have in Thursday night. Calypso final and Scarlet's final is a Calypso final. It is an event. So it is never mind 100,000 people take part. It is a final. Moreover, I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. Let us see. Like scholars say, we cannot continue doing the same thing over and over and expect changes. Let us see. I do not believe that. I have the opinion, well, Thursday night, people have to go to work Friday. I leave town, go up there, finish, come down to try to go to work Sunday. When I reach down, it's 2, maybe 3 in the morning. I don't know. Let's hope I'm wrong. But I would rather, even though they put it in Grenville, it still remained Sunday night. Oh, and we have a Wagity all-inclusive fete on Thursday night too in St. George's. When I say we, that doesn't include me. My all-inclusive fete is always in my living room on my veranda. Have a great
season. Thank you, caller. Thank you very much indeed. All right, gentlemen, you wanna?
Let me just say this, because this has also been bandied about that Thursday and Friday is work and so on. When was Queen Show? Ain't he sell out? The next day was more.
I have never. Well, I mean, for me, I don't subscribe to that because you see, Carnival is a season, and that kind of thing doesn't impact.
I would submit that the biggest Calypso show we have ever had in Grenada in the last 15 years was when Ajamu celebrated his 50 years. That's the biggest Calypso show we ever had, and it was on Tuesday.
I remember I was there.
Tuesday before Carnival, before the Carnival Tuesday. That was the biggest. And that's why I always tend to say, when we talk about variables, why couldn't we have had it in St. George's, for example, the Thursday? Because I believe that probably could have worked as well. You see, the thing is that nobody knows what would happen. Nobody knows if you know for a fact the Sunday in the stadium don't work in. Any other variety that you put, you try, you experiment. But the problem is the Wagiti show on the same Thursday night. That is nonsense. There should not be a competing thing when you're trying to experiment, because you don't know if the experiment will work at all. Right? When you put this thing, and then of course there should have been at the March Gras. That was the understanding from day one when the discussion was held. But the March Gras would have been of a different variety. The March Gras with King and Queen and Pan and first, second, and third of the groovy, the Kaiso and the Soca plus some foreign artists, and you have a nice big show. And we even said to them, you look at the template that Trinidad used this year. It was the same template. We all agreed. And whoop, we hear Judah have the Sunday night for MT. It was always, we keep the March. But it's just that the Calypso finals would not be
on that night.
On that night. That was it.
Okay. Let's go back to the telephone. Oui Culture, good evening.
Hello.
Yes, good evening, caller. Could you turn the volume of your device down, please, and listen to us on your telephone?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to make a suggestion to the Spice Mass Committee. Instead of putting the March Gras on Thursday, why not change it with the Soca Monarch, the groovy Soca? Bring and do the Soca show on the Sunday, and you have the March Gras on the Friday or the Saturday night, thereabout. So you still have a show for the Sunday, instead of just blanking Sunday.
Okay, thank you, caller. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Scholar,
gentlemen, what your thoughts, Doc?
I think it's well, Reece was saying something, but I think it's that it is worthy of trying. I believe on the final night, most people, is the premier event. I believe Sunday is the most lucrative day in the carnival calendar, and so Soca Monarch, people out on the street. So if you have the March Gras on the Thursday and on the Saturday, on the Sunday, you have the ultimates, and then people on the street in the Juve one time. So I personally believe it's something that was worthy of a try.
Reece, you're making a point.
Doc, you was saying that you believe that the Sunday is the most lucrative day of
the carnival calendar. Yeah. Okay.
Lucrative in terms of what? Because if you're talking patronage of the events leading up to Carnival, I would humbly submit that Friday is the most lucrative day.
But because you're thinking about because of the Soca Monarch?
No, I'm saying patronage.
Yeah. Well,
right? In terms of patronage. So when you say most lucrative in terms of what?
I believe it's the best way to make the most money in Carnival, the ultimate, just before the penultimate event leading into that. So if I know on Friday you have the Soca Monarch, but I also believe to have an event that can attract a similar crowd, and if it is on a Sunday, I can see a greater outpouring from the onto the street. So I believe Sunday is the most lucrative.
Yeah, but my opinion is that I agree. I am from an area where we went to party on a Sunday night, and 5 o'clock we were going home to bed and go to work. So this whole idea of you have to go to work the next day, I don't subscribe to it at all. I find that as much as I know that a lot of our patrons for Calypso in particular comes from outside of St. George's, a lot of them, right? Which makes Progress Park, it's sort of like a thank you for having patronized to put Calypso there. I agree, this makes sense. But I also think that when it comes to like our finals of the Spice Mass, which usually happens within that particular week, I think that the big stage, what we call the big stage in the National Stadium, with seating and standing capacity, that is where Calypso finals should be held. So the Thursday, okay, but Thursday in the stadium. That is what I think, and I think we could have tried that first before going to Progress Park, because I go to the March Gras every year, and as much as you may not have as much people as you would have had before, we like the ambience. We like the idea that we can sit there, the idea that we can get shelter if rain falling. All these kinds of options, we like that. And there's a whole perception, because you're kind of getting the feeling that Calypso is kind of like being a bit trivialized by it not being on big stage, just as how the Queen show has gotten this kind of, you are too small to be here, you're not big stage material anymore. It as much as the reasons might not be about that, but perception is everything, and it's seeming that way in some instances. So I don't mind Thursday for Calypso, but we should have tried the stadium first. And the March Gras, I love the idea, Scholar, about winners of Carnival, or the first, second, and third, like however you described it. I am sold on that whole culmination of every competition that we have. You have people making that big show. To me, it is something to aspire to. That you come first, second, and third, so you get to be in the March Gras. The March Gras is no longer about you're good, but you were that good and you qualify, so you get to be that part of that. I think there's some prestige in that. So yes, it's very disheartening to see that now we are having competitive events on what is supposed to be the March Gras night. In whatever form it was going to take, there seemed to be something else happening. That is disheartening.
Or is it first, second, and third in one? Because remember, a lot of the competition is not yet executed. When you on the Sunday.
But no, Doc. Sunday, the last show on Sunday is usually the March Gras. If you're talking about pageant and stuff, well, that is subject to after Carnival results kinds of thing, right? Yes. But the build up to it, you have soca, you have pan, you have different things that would have already happened.
And
the traditional mass.
Yeah, and then you're also having the king and queen of the bands.
But yes. So
you're taking it out from the March Gras. The king and queen of the band, plus all of the winners and so on. And then if you want to tear them up too far enough, it's a bar and a who. And make the thing nice. Guys, so a soca artist and make the thing nice. That's what you did this year.
Yeah, so that is, you see, it is that kind of thinking. That is the kind of thinking, the kind of discussion that I would expect Spice Mass Corporation to be holding prior to the Carnival. But the thinking has to be, how can we better our product? So that is why, Salah, when I mentioned, it's quite suspicious that you remove Sunday and your option was Canboulay. And eventually, after Canboulay, when Canboulay seemed like it just disappeared in thin air, then the next thing you know is that a private show is taking place in the stadium. Granted, then you come to the Thursday, you're experimenting, so you try two variables. And on the Thursday, what you have the semi-finals in Grenville, and Spice Mass Corporation is advertising the competitors' event in their event when they are having a final. I just find that is crazy. How you could advertise your competition in your event? That doesn't make sense. So you see this kind of thinking, that those kind of chatting about how we could better whether we anybody have it right. It's not about right or wrong, but it's a thought process.
No, Doc. I agree with you on that one. Mm-hmm. Not about right or wrong. What is wrong?
No. It's wrong to advertise, but I'm just saying. Okay, Reece
Well, who you blame for that?
Spice Mass Corporation.
Who?
Well, you have the chairman and you have the CEO.
Well, that's an operational issue.
But gentlemen, you know, I am going on the day. I honestly don't believe the day is a big deal as it relates to the Calypso competition because, Scholar, 1998, 1999, we had the Calypso Monarch competition in Simon.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, massive.
Yeah.
Massive.
I was there.
So I do believe.
But we also had the Soca Monarch and there too.
Yes, of course. So I do believe the St. Andrew thing and the March Gras. I believe honestly there is more interest in the outer party. I do believe that. You know, because it has happened before and it has worked. But
I am not willing to dismiss Reece's position.
Yes.
No, not at all. Not at all.
You see, because that's what I was talking about with the dynamics and the variables that Neil would have preached, and you hear Reece now. So Reece is looking at the another variable that he's not looking at.
But
right? Hold on. But Reece's thing has credence simply because it has happened before. As I said to you, the biggest Calypso show we have ever had in the last 15 years was Jamu 15. He had a name for it. 30-50 or something like that.
30-50.
That was the biggest Calypso show. And it was on a Tuesday in the same stadium.
No, but Scholar, what I'm saying, what the discussion we're having is the kind of discussion that should be initiated by Spice Mass Corporation. So Spice Mass Corporation will say, let us talk. So Reece say Thursday in St. George's, I would say Thursday in Grenville. And we bounce up ideas.
So
until we put a template and we say, well, let me try this one. Let me see how this goes. And then we have a plan for Sunday. But we have to have a plan whatsoever we do for Sunday that is better and bigger than what we are replacing with. Because I still believe and I hold that Sunday is the most lucrative day in the carnival calendar.
So let we so here what? Here the plan. Let we take over Spice Mass Corporation. Because we have in the discussion. What is it? You see what is it?
What that?
I don't know what to take over here.
What do you mean?
You know, if Spice, we had Spice, okay. So if what we had done then was to have the March Gras on the Sunday up in Progress Park. You know, Spice Mass would have given the fella the stadium.
The same Sunday?
Yes. And compete with us. So
you
no
see,
matter what.
Let me tell you,
the problem is just the problem is not
there's a serious indictment on Spice Mass now. So
let me tell you. Yeah. My thing is that I believe at this point the Spice Mass Corporation is more interested in money than developing a good product, and they're not seeing that if you have an excellent product, the money will come down the line. So I think in a sense they have the thing in a different way. So if they invest in an excellent product, if you invest in an excellent product, the returns will come. But I think they have it the other way around.
I probably before you on that one. I believe it's the money, so we go as far as arguing on that. But I don't believe Spice must look at the holistic approach. Now, the most profitable venture in Carnival is maybe the Soca Monarch and those times and them. So when you hear you have Soca Monarch, they can actually collect some. But Carnival is a product, the total product, starting with the traditional mass maybe, and all the other activities that take place, the Kids Carnival, and all the other things that take place that does not bring in the resources. You cannot see Carnival as a cash cow, a way how to pull in cash receipt at the gate. It's a whole product, so in some event, you have to manage, you're going to lose in some, and you're going to gain in some. but you have to develop the entire product and the lucrative area, profitable area, and they decide that they are going to sell that to the highest bidders. So the private promoters, they charge them probably their money in order to ensure that they get certain cash. I don't know if the government is not investing enough in Spice Mass, and so Spice Mass is between a rock and a hard place, and so they have to sell some of the more profitable area in order to pay some of the prices. But if that is the approach, then we are going on the wrong way. It's an entire product.
But you see, it's an entire product. But you see, here is my thing. We are at a stage where some of the events are definitely not cutting it. And we're talking Calypso. One of them that is not the Calypso show is not cutting it. I personally believe Spice Mass needs to take individual look at the various products. So Soca Monarch, good. And my thing is, if you have a formula working, don't change it. So Soca Monarch working, leave it. But we need to look at the other products individually and find ways to develop these products. And if you can do that, the entire product of Carnival will be will automatically, whatever it falls in place. It falls in place. So you put. I mean, it's like anything else. You know, when you have something that involves other things, you know. Scholar have Kaiso Bads. Kaiso Bads, yes, it's a tent, but Kaiso Bads would be as profitable and successful as the Calypsonians and the material that is put forward. So you don't need to pay attention to Kaiso Bads, you know. You focus on what make it up. So the Calypsos, you understand, the artist. And when you have people who can produce excellent material, then you don't have to worry about the overall product, because automatically that just falls in place. And I think this is where Spice Mass is missing the point.
You know, just to support what you're saying, it's like saying Kaiso Bads appear to be the most organized tent and probably the tent with the most people. Does that mean that we don't need Northwest Brigade?
No,
or we don't need Kingdom anymore because you have a tent and this is working, and let us work with that one because this is working? No. I agree that Carnival is a whole, it's a big product, and we cannot just look at everything from a money-making standpoint.
You can't.
Yes, we have to work with things to make it, to get it there, but it cannot be the only objective of having that on your calendar. That is
not the main objective.
Because as much as Soca might be the show that is highly patronized, the absence of the Calypso finals is a huge loss to Grenada's Carnival would be, and it would also affect a lot of people who normally don't go to the jump up shows, but they look forward to the Calypso show. Any time of the year we have a Calypso show, it is well patronized. Look at when I get me horn the already. When I get me horn, and they all said on a stone because
Kaiso
was rammed out.
Kaiso in your poetin.
Yes, so it does have its audience, and we cannot just look at it from that perspective. And at the same time, there are things when it comes to the Spice Mass Corporation that they need to have different approaches to, and that's my personal opinion. I'm not representing no company, no association or anything like that. I'm representing We Culture, right? We need to look at more infrastructure. We need to look at our sponsorship. In my opinion, sponsorship is not something that is approached in the best of ways. When it comes to, hold on, Nala is at Pan, sorry. Yeah, so we need to look at sponsorship in a way that it is beneficial, and our product doesn't seem like it's something where we are begging, but that we have something to offer, and you have something, a platform that we own that you want to be a part of. Like, for example, you would hear about the diamond sponsor, you would hear about the platinum sponsor, the gold, the silver, whatever. And in my humble opinion, based on the the from what you understand to be the submissions of companies for sponsorship, right? To me, there's a diamond. There's no platinum, there's no silver, there's no gold. There's no platinum, there's no titanium, there's no gold. To me, we have bronze. That's what we have. We have a diamond sponsor and we have bronze. So how are we expecting to get our product to be respected by organizations that actually benefit in big ways from Carnival? And I'm not just talking about the night of shows. I am also talking about the trickle effect within the communities. Wherever there is an event, your products are selling. You know, your products are selling everywhere. And in some cases, you have monopolies, right? How are we accepting? To me, we are supposed to have certain ranges and grades as to how is it that you get into to not be just called a contributor, but to get into what we call a sponsor and have you at different levels. So yeah.
No, I wanted you to finish because I just wanted to say something.
Oh yeah. So if we need to approach our sponsorship differently. We need to look at who are the biggest beneficiaries and get them to be more involved in this thing and to contribute more. Because, I mean, when you look at, like, for example, the National Lotteries Authority, the National Lotteries Authority is there to support sports culture, right? So they're doing their part through the players, because the players are the ones that are actually spending for these events. And they are the ones that are buying the games, and the lottery is able to sponsor, right? But what can the lottery really say that it can benefit from sponsoring, like how any other typical sponsor would expect returns on the investment? I would submit not really, unless you come up with very strategic ways, and I'd really like not to discuss that in particular. But you cannot compare it to like a beverage company, a water company, even like a mobile company. These are things that are considered to be part of our basket for Carnival. We have to have these things. We have to have our alcohol. We have to have our clothes. We have to have our airline ticket. We have to have where we stay with pocket money and all these kinds of things. A lottery product is not necessarily something that a player would have as, I need to patronize that. When I go to the Carnival show, I need to do this. Right? So apart from its mandate, if you were to look on return on investment as a typical sponsor, that is almost like a no-no. So I'm saying this to say our approach to sponsorship needs to be different. We need to have some confidence in our product and really try to get sponsors to come on board in a meaningful way. And when we do that and we are able to cover cost of shows through sponsorship and through gate receipts, whatever it is that we have left, we must look towards, and I'm saying again, that's my opinion, we should look to see how is it that we can invest in things. So after this year's Carnival, maybe what we can do is have some bar tents. So whenever we need to have our shows, we can say, okay, we have these bar tents that we can now sell our drinks on, that we can probably own our bars as Spice Mass, and we don't have to worry about maybe getting a branded companies tents because we need the tents for functionality. But then what you find happening is that you have marketing happening at the same time because it's branded, and you probably didn't, or maybe you did pay for that level of branding, and if you understand, like, let's invest in a small stage. So when we have our prelims, we have something that we can cut some of our costs. So we're asking a supplier for lighting and sound, but here we have a mini stage that we can go around with. And those things, and them, they can be applied to the out of season, because a vision that I would have for Spice Mass is that you're not a Spice Mass corporation of a season, but you are there throughout and trying to raise funds and that sort of thing. That's just my opinion.
Quickly. Two things, Reece, you mentioned about the sponsoring, and it always hurt me to know that Spice Mass sometimes does not have what I call the guts, the will, the authority to tap into persons and companies that are making the millions out of carnival. Instead, what they have done is to frustrate a lot of the small organizers in the various villages. Imagine when the Clay Carnival open. If you're having a crusade, you have to apply to Spice Mass. A wedding, you have to apply to Spice Mass. How does that? Where does Spice Mass get this authority to be trying to pick up a $15 and a $20 or $100 from these people that are doing things that have nothing to do with Carnival? Right? Some of the traditional bands that are trying to organize things, you have to go to ice baths. This is killing the creativity of the very people that Spice Mass was made or came into fruition to help. You have to go to Spice Mass to get permission to do this and to permission to do that. And Spice Mass has nothing to give you return except a letter saying that you can go ahead and have your event. And that is that is killing the creativity of the persons that are actually developing the carnival product. And from the day that came out, I wrote and I said, it is wrong. It is wrong.
Skulls.
But Doc, you're asking where Spice Mass get the authority from. You never read the legislation?
I read the legislation.
So there has to be legislative changes, but big man
I read the legislation. I quote the legislation. I wrote letters publicly. I wrote to
big men sit down and pass that.
Huh?
Big men sit down and pass that. Big men want to vote for sit down and they pass this thing.
It is crazy.
Let me just say this one final thing as it relates to, and I think a caller made that point earlier that young people, the people who go to Soca Monarch now, they don't like the slower calypso, and I beg to differ so much, because my position is if you never eat something, how would you know whether you like it or not? And my thing is, I believe the media has a major role to play in that. In fact, I'll tell you one of the things I believe, and I'm firm on. Anytime somebody applies for a license to have a radio station, it must be mandated.
Yes.
That a certain percentage of your programming must involve local content. And I believe Calypso should be specified. I believe it should be specified. Because, look, a caller said a while ago that he ain't no Calypso. I mean, well, maybe. But since the semi-final, since after the semi-final round of competition, every evening when I come in, you get almost 2 hours of Calypso. Maybe about an hour and a half, and then I try to insert a little pan in between. But I made attempts to access the live recording, because not much of the Calypsos have been recorded. But I made attempts. I was able to get a lot of it, and every evening you get Calypso. And I must add that the Calypsos this year, they're really good. I enjoy the Calypsos. Really, really, really great. So I believe if the media has to play a role. In fact, Spice must get, according to scholar, big man to pass legislation about that. They need to move and get same big men to pass legislation to promote Grenada's music.
Yeah.
Because if people don't hear it, how would they like it?
Right.
Preach it, brother, preach it.
How would you like it? No. But I'm very. Let me tell you, there was something the other day I was listening to a scholar Kaiso. I think why anyone call it so
Goddfrey,
disability, and he had something in the Calypso about where somebody gets stoned in Guave and they say. And I had forgotten all about that. And that when that happened, it was a big thing. And I only remember when I heard the Kaiso. So I am saying that if people listen Calypso, there's a lot of Calypso is something. You learn a lot of history, and not just what the Calypsonian think, real thing, real thing,
But this year, I must admit, some of the issues that was raised in the Calypso was totally mind-boggling.
No, I'm telling you,
the scope of issues. But one point, Goddfrey, before you come and see that, I like where you're going with your reasoning. I totally endorse that. But do you know anybody around that is that is the PS in education? I want to submit that in this new dispensation, that we have Calypsonians going, it must be mandatory that our children must go to certain shows, drama, performances in the theater. At least our children must be exposed. We must make a deal. We must do something. So, in case you know our peers, Goddfrey in education.
Doc, let me tell you something. Watch. I mean, I hear what you said, but I believe if it is mandated that the media in Grenada, and when I say the media, I mean everybody. I don't mean GBN or Goddfrey, I don't mean that, The media, they should be mandated that a certain percentage of the programming must involve, and I know that you say things like theater and so, that all of these things be included in the programming. And I know the effects of it.
Well,
I know the effects because let me tell you. When we had Channel 6, and I used to be going on and doing all of these ways, Goddfrey and things, let me tell you something. You would be amazed. There are people who call me and tell me about this thing. I never see them from Adam, but they can relate to all of these things, and that's the power of what the media could do. That is the power of it. So if it's mandated, going in school, you don't even need that. Believe what I tell you, you don't even need that, because it is going to become part of our everyday operation. So the PS could sit down and make a papi show. You don't have to worry about that. He could just make a papi show. But
between me and you, everybody, if you give people a chance, they say, yeah, this man how to sell nuts in school. And you know what to do in school.
Everything is cool. Starting school. We look, how much registration we have in Grenada? About 70?
More than that.
No. It must be. I think the NTRC need to put that in there, mandate, and they have to monitor it to make sure it works. And once it's working and it becomes part of our thing, no problem. Dimash, you are coming back. You talking about humor. I hear a caller talk about no humor, and Doc, I think you had mentioned it. But let me tell you something. Every calypso have some kind of humor in it. You have to listen to it. Every calypso have some kind of humor in it. Once you listen, you get it. But well, I know time going fast. Let's take some Facebook comments and then we go see how we can wrap up. Yeah.
Okay. So we have Jane is saying the last week leading up to Carnival should only be local shows. Apple is saying all you have to change the name if the day change. So maybe Jeudi Gras. Reginald is saying there should be no permit for any show. Carnival Thursday night. Val is saying was wondering why we not talking emancipation because the weekend is around. Reginald is saying, is there a number for the overseas callers to call in from New York, Canada, and England? We need to be mentioning that, Goddfrey.
Yeah.
Jane is saying scholar need to start training younger folks to continue his legacy. Not like he's going anywhere anytime soon, but his legacy he has set needs to continue. I still singing They Have Their Belly. Well, at least I have mine. Marcia Val is saying, Marcia again, is it one man? I wondered, and she was responding to who could just come and change Carnival in years. Jose is saying every year Spice Mass rent everything from stages, songs, systems, lighting, tents, and even bucket tub to even put ice. They're renting. Why Spice Mass can't own these things? They rent every year from that to promoters. Then after Carnival, you will hear them saying who didn't get paid the night after the shows. Jose is also saying, how do you expect brother to have money when every year you're renting? Val is saying, Scholar, Queen Show don't take the king. Scholar, Queen Show don't take that kind of energy a Calypso show takes. Queen Show is a seated show which ended at midnight and is that. Everyone headed home. The comparison is chalk and cheese. She's also saying they need to keep the Sunday but do it different instead of replacing the day. Rose is saying, so who changed the recommendations? That is why we should have these discussions, not just chucking things down our throats. Jarrell is saying SMC sold us out for white. Hoyland, or you're killing the culture slowly with white shows. Val is saying, Scholar idea if the winners crossing the big stage is a good idea, but that means we will see the SE artist every, I don't know what that SE means, artist year after year after year. Hopefully it inspires the not so good to buck up. Jose is saying Aligale is a person to make record in Carnival because he turned Sunday in not a holiday but a holy night. No activities into Julie. Rachel is saying, yes, Calypso Finals is still getting competition on Thursday. That this is not right. Diana is saying the show in the stadium should not be allowed to take place on the night of the Calypso Finals. Hoyland is saying Thursday's Calypso Final. All you're sick. Mary Charles is saying a Jamu show was well attended because of the quality of his craft. Persons will attend a show once they will get value. Glenna, add a new holiday in August to have the March Gras on that day and the people will support. Val is saying Goddfrey, the soca show works, but it killed the Sunday show. Rose is saying, so true, Goddfrey, money is it, not culture. The cooperation needs to change if being given a new mandate or change the name from Carnival to Calypso Soca Party Show. Allenton is saying, you're so right, SMC doesn't care about the culture, only the money, time to develop the Carnival product. Val is saying, by the way, what was the price for the hardworking Carnival queens? Yeah, I don't remember hearing that. Val is saying, in lottery case, it's given back for the large support they get. Marcia is saying, I support your comments. Jose is saying, Scholar, I think after not having Carnival for 2 years, I think people would have attended the March Gras in the stadium because when I look at the attendance of the Calypso tents, they were well supported because people were looking for somewhere to go. After locking down for the 2 years, I think if we've seen a drop in the attendance at the stadium, then make the necessary changes by enhancing it with the top soca artist performance in Juve. Emilia is saying we need to have people in culture who are truly passionate about culture and who are creative and innovative. Allenton is saying, don't worry, 2023 will be different. Val is saying, I support the statement that I am not hearing the new Calypso. Maybe I'm hearing, but it sounds the same as 3 years ago. Jose is saying, straight to the point, Dr. Mitchell is a Grinch of Carnival because he put the election date too close to the Carnival season and most of the top artists were participating in the campaigning. Tresseria is saying, I don't agree with that. Val is saying, Doc, let the Calypsonians go to the schools like they do in Trinidad. But on the other hand, very few of those are kid-friendly. Jose is saying, one thing I noticed in the songs this year, the writing is very poor, especially in the soca. If it's not honing, it's drinking rum. I think we need to have sessions at least 3 months before Carnival to improve the writing. And he's also saying, Scholar, where is Beast? I don't hear about him. Joseria is saying, like Black Wizard, Calypso was informative and educational. Jose is saying, we didn't talk about the increase in the money. And Joseria is saying, Wagiti and them is pirates. And that is what I've seen so far. Goddfrey, earlier you were talking about like policies and stuff. Maybe you didn't use that word, but that is what I gathered from it. And one of the things that has always bothered me is how is it that we don't have regulations for our radio media in particular in terms of the local content? And that in itself would help. If there are mandates that to operate a radio station, your content has to be local at a certain percentage, whether it is 50% local or 60% local or 75% local, and that you have to register these things, and if the copyright laws were in effect and all of that, where people have to record because people have to get their royalties and all of that, I think we would be much further in terms of airplay, because all of us can't play the same songs on every program. There are very few total local programs on radio today. There are very few that play Calypso music. There are very few. Why am I saying few? there's maybe a couple that play pan music and that sort of thing. And I think one of the reasons is because we don't put effort into regulating media to make sure that there's the spoken word and that there is content that is at a percentage local. That to me would really help us. So one of SMC roles I find, or maybe the Ministry of Culture's role, is to regulate such things in an effort to grow a product and have people like Val and all that hearing more. And we hope that as much as people are complaining that they are not hearing, that they would take time to listen as well.
All right. Well, we basically out of time. Doc?
My final wrap up. Carnival has always been what I consider to be street theater. It's the time when all the bands, the regalia, with the theatrics would occupy the street, and the street become the stage, and they would harness the art and they would showcase the art. That is Carnival. It would have been an outpouring of energy, etc. So lately, what I believe that is happening, we have not street theater, but street jam. And everything is becoming like a big block. And so the wide shows, without major content, without taking into consideration what is the traditional and indigenous culture of our country, is being showcased and being privatized. And we have nobody now to gather the little that is our tradition and our art. On the street, in people, not in the full costume, but in the middle of a jab band, you might see somebody with a long sleeve shirt or a red or a white shirt. And in the Shatney band, you might see somebody without a mask or in a different color. So you might see some regular person in one of them bands and them playing and jumping up. We have to go forward thinking that our carnival must be theater. When you take a photo of a band, the band must be in uniform, the band must be in character.
Not tarnished.
And not tarnished. And we have to find a way to really enhance the product. The question again I want to ask finally, after what goes on in the think tank of SMC, what is it they do? That they say, okay, we are having this program in November or in January to prepare for the next year. What is it that goes on? I kind of wonder. Good night, everybody.
Indeed. Finley, your closing.
Well, Carnival, what is Carnival without Bacchanal? I cannot remember a single year when there has not been Bacchanal of some kind. And even if you bring Jesus to oversee Carnival, is trouble. That's just how we ask, right? There will always be talking points and so on. But amidst all of this, I think what we're looking for is better organization of the product. Doc asked the question about the 2 years. And the truth is that we have been complaining about that while the 2 years are going on, because Spice Mass was not even doing anything developmental really for the product, you see. And so Carnival, the first Carnival, which is the election Carnival, so close to the real Carnival, it would have placed a damp on things. I mean, we agree, but at the same time, it is not the first time that elections have been held. Well, as a matter of fact, 2008, I think it was July 8th, so it was even closer, and I think they still had a good mass. So by there are a lot of things that we can speak about, but we don't even speak about the super demand, the 100,000.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah,
that is a big talking point that we ain't even. If we go to discuss that next year, Carnival we discussing it. So Carnival just has a way of throwing up. But what I want to finally say is that I always say this. I don't feel sorry for them people and them sometimes in SMC, not in terms of their organizational acumen, because the truth is that they don't play the fool. And I find in a lot of ways SMC a force. like they drag Bam Bam on SMC, because how you explain not having the March Gras when the truth is that everything, the agreement was that, and how do you explain having this Wagiti show on the Thursday when you're trying to experiment on the Thursday? I mean, this cannot be explained except that they drag Bam Bam on the SMC. But the truth is that, and Reece spoke all about the advertising and what have you. But the truth is that a budget of 800,000, which usually was what they gave to SMC, I think now they beef it up because they're hearing about billion and so on. When this new government came, praise the Lord. But 800,000 is inadequate. You could bring who you want. I mean, even Jesus would turn how much fish and how much loaf and feed how much. You can't take that 800,000 to run proper carnival. Look, Jukutu St. Kitts Day. St. Kitts are about 19 people. And St. Kitts, 3-point-something million. The government giving for carnival with 19 or 20 people. And we have a big crowd of people, 800,000 year in, year out until, this government came and beef it up. But, I mean, Spice Mass will always be backpedaling, and they would always be hampered in terms of what they can do. And then when you put in to context all of the issues of the advertising and not making use of all that, and people who really benefit not putting back and so on, then you definitely have an issue. And this is something that we need to take going forward. At least 3.5 million should be dedicated to Carnival. And then we will see a lot of things happening differently, I believe. And let's hope that with not square peg, but wrong peg in wrong hole, because you have a lot of square pegs at this time. With the wrong peg in wrong hole, Goddfrey, and the monies to back it up, I mean, things could be much better.
Yeah.
And the control. Don't forget the control, eh?
You mentioned
control and accountability.
Yeah, you mentioned a couple of things there, Scholar. And I wish I could, I mean, this, as you said, this program will go on for a year because there's so much to talk about. Well, let me just say up front, I have not seen it, so I don't know, but I would still say semi-final was last Sunday. Yeah, last Sunday. Today is Friday.
Yeah.
I have not seen an advertisement for the Calypso Monarch competition. I don't know if there is one. So if there is, forgive me. Is there one, Scholar?
I've heard an audio ad, but I've not seen a video.
I mean, come on. You know the 10 finalists. It's not taking you 2 hours to put a television commercial together that we can have on TV, on Facebook, on YouTube. These things, they go a long way. And
I think that's something that speaks of the different events that are happening and not necessarily a specific.
Goddfrey, you're talking about that. Sure. Is Wednesday night they dipping for Calypso. And Thursday, Friday morning for Soca Monarch and group. I mean, what happened to today and this week?
Well, that's my point. I mean, it's not like you don't know. You have all the information.
Could it be that SMC is not properly staffed?
Man, but you have people. How much? Look, Kaiso Bad, according to Jukutu Kaiso Bad, about 10 ad advertising the thing. And I must say, I have to congratulate Hubbard's Kaiso Bads, because very rare on a carnival season you hear tents having. How much was Bads have this year, Scholar? About 5?
Yeah, we're going to almost 5 or 6. We're going to.
And then on Tuesday, Bads is I've resurrected something that used to happen since in the 70s and 80s.
Nostalgic. I remember that.
Crowning their own monarch.
Yes.
That was a big thing, because fellas who don't make it to the final and semi-final, you still have something to look forward to. I mean, even if even if the money look a bit, but you feel good.
Yeah.
You feel good. You feel as and these things are important and it is so I was so happy when I heard that Bads is doing this. I remember the last time I could recall that was done when Spice Basket at Kaiso tent and then they did that, but these little things, they go a long way and it sparks out an interest in the art form. So I just want to say hats off to Hubbard's Kaiso Bads this year for doing that. I also want to congratulate the Calypsonians who made it to the final. Scholar, how much from Bads? We have about 4? 6 from Kaiso Bads. We have, I think, 2 from the Kingdom and 2 from the Northwest, so I congratulate them. I'm quite happy with some of the clubs I'm hearing. There's always room for improvement, but congratulations to the guys, and I'm looking forward to an excellent Calypso show on August 4th.
Goddfrey, I want to be a judge. I want to be a judge in Kaiso Bads on Tuesday. So I applied for your work. And I already have somebody I want to win.
Yeah. I want to crown the king or the queen.
Joke will give me that, G.
Kaiso Bads on Tuesday night. Color, in case you're missing a judge.
Doc, I will give you the work. You go judge who buying the most drinks.
Anyway, so Phil, let me ask you, because somebody said looking for the Tuesday night. Everything in place already?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, everything in place. The only thing we don't get that is the crumb.
You on that crumb? Yeah, we don't need breweries and get a crumb. You're that, look at crumb here, you're that. You know a crumb here, you want the breweries and get a crumb. You get the real crumb, you could come all so. Anyway, folks, guys, thank you so very much. Well, next week we won't be here because it's the Soca Monarch competition. Yeah, and again, congratulations to the soca artist and the groovy. Congratulations to the Queen. I think I did say that earlier. And of course, all the folks who are going out there and do their stuff. We look forward to a great carnival after a 2-year break. So I think I will play a job, fellas. All is he?
Goddfrey.
I mean, I'm gonna play a job,
Goddfrey.
Yeah.
I'm asking Scholar, can you say good night to Clint McSween for me, please? Just say good night to him.
Good night, Clint McSween.
Yes. He's 8 or 9 years old and he's listening right now. A big fan of We Culture. And I need to say,
that look a chubby fella? That look a chubby fella? The look a chubby fella?
Yes. We're already to let him know he's listening.
Well, enough respect, Clint. Anyway, fellas, thank you very much. And Skulls, I wish you all the best. Well, I know you will stop short at the 10, but say what? You never know. You never know. You might go. So
you never know what will happen. But it's a rough season. It's a rough season for me. I'm honest with you. Because going back to the Ministry of Education also, it is fires, and then of course I have the tent.
Yes.
I manage, and then I have Calypsonians that I write and thing, and then I have for myself. So it's the hardest season of carnival that I've ever.
Right. Well, I mean, we wish all the artists all the best, and we're looking forward to a really, really good show. I hope you don't end up like Top Cat and them. Cause you tell me just what they want, right? That's it. Anyway, we are time. You see that's it. But you so much you talk about. Anyway, after carnival, when the carnival over, we go reminisce. So, folks, good night. Thank you. I'm sorry we couldn't take no more calls, but we promise that we go have at least a 2-3 program after carnival, just to deal with carnival, and of course we have to have a special program about the judges. Because I know Doc find Pecco should have make the final. I don't know why, but anyway.
I find so too, honestly.
Anyway.
I contend that Pecos has the best song in terms of melody.
Yeah, I could say that, but anyway, let me answer nothing. I'll wash my mouth.
Is anybody coming to 30 for melody?
Yeah.
Beautiful melody.
Anyway, guys, thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you guys. In 2 Fridays from now. Yes, indeed. So have a good night, folks. Happy Carnival, everyone. Happy Emancipation. Where you if you have a dashiki from Liberia, you could get one from wherever. And I don't study here. When I flash me dashiki from Liberia, how do you go see? I don't bother you at that. You could laugh all you want. All I know, I have a nice blue and brown dashiki, and it came straight from Liberia. That's right. So you could say what you want. Folks, have a good night. All the best. Take good care now and enjoy the carnival. Be safe.
All right.